send them to the attractions, you go for a 10-pound bass. That's what we're going to talk about right now. If you like this kind of content, click that like and subscribe button. And thank you. Thank you for all the people who are constantly commenting and subscribing and are interactive with the channel. I really do appreciate it. I enjoy learning from you. I enjoy reading your comments. I enjoy replying to the comments. And I do my best to reply to everybody. But thank you. I just need to say thank you as many times as possible because it's just been insane the last 3 months. It's been humbling, and honestly, it's just incredible. So thank you. But if you're not a subscriber, click that subscribe button and become part of the team and family. I have thought about 10 places throughout the country that I think I want to go fishing at. And then I realized that there are so many people that come down to Orlando and Florida and love fishing and also love our attractions. But a lot of people don't realize that within Central Florida or around our area is some of the best bass fishing in the country. And if you're a serious angler, this is an opportunity to push that family off to the side for just a couple hours and do something for yourself and go fishing. Find a guide or go out there by yourself if you have a boat. But these are 5 places, if you're coming down to Florida, I think you should go visit. And I'm going to give you 2 secret things that I don't share a lot about. But they're 2 spots that they'll probably be mad at me about. So my first spot is only a spot I've been to a few times. It is down towards the south of Lake Okeechobee called Fellsmere, or the Stick Marsh. And it is a catch and release only lake or reservoir. And it is absolutely fantastic. It is at any given time, it's pretty well pressured, but at the same time, it isn't like the Harris Chain or Kissimmee and Toho, where they see a tournament every week or every day of the week. Down there in Fellsmere, there's not a lot of tournaments, and the fishing gets really good at the beginning of the year and through February and slightly into March. There are constantly some of the biggest fish you've ever seen caught down there. It isn't really a secret, but it is a secret. But it's an amazing place to go down and flip and punch and throw finesse type lures and just get out there and have a lot of fun and catch donkey fish. So my first one is Fellsmere, or the Stick Marsh. Now my second one is my favorite place to fish, Lake Isapoka. It's more towards Tampa. It is not a lot of fish overall, but the quality and the size of the fish is really what is impressive. It's a lot of, again, flipping and into weeds and into lily pads and fishing the old-fashioned way, the way that a lot of people like to fish. You're not going to go down there and use forward-facing sonar. You need to work the banks and the weed lines and the lines out there to find fish. But if you've ever seen Lunker Louie, it is one of the best places in the world to fish, and he catches at least one 10 or 12 pounder every year out there. So my second one is Lake Isapoka. My third place is Orange Lake, which is a little bit more central located. Not known for a lot of fish, but absolutely known for massive giant fish. You can get a little boat in there and fish the edges and flip and punch, use a stick bait or use a jerk bait, use a tube, use almost anything. The fish down there get really big. This is one of the places that is known for having the most big giant fish over 10 pounds in the state. Really clean water, really nice to fish, relaxing, and beautiful place to fish. But my third place is Orange Lake, down there towards Tampa. Fourth on the list is the Rodman Reservoir. Why? 345 8-pound bass have been caught over the last 5 or 6 years on this. There are absolute giant fish on Rodman Reservoir. It's 9,500 acres big and well known for having good quality, good quantity, and some of the best fishing in our area. It is a fantastic place to go fish, fun, and you will catch a donkey out there. So fourth is Rodman Reservoir. And my fifth place I think you should go fishing if you come down here is Lake George. Now I think Lake George is probably only good through the end of January through maybe March. You'll find a lot of big fish in certain areas. It is really, you really must love sight fishing though. You're going to fish in 1 to 2 foot of water. You're going to see a lot of people out there throwing shiners. That's the one problem with it. But you'll see some absolutely pigs out there on Lake George when it's spawning season, when the spawn's happening. And it's really fun to go out there and fish. You'll see a lot of smaller fish or bucks that are guarding fry or trying to get that big fish to come see their bed. But it's really a great fishery and really a lot of fun. It is probably the most well-known of all of the fishing because there's just so many bass that congregate into a little area. Probably 5 or 6 football fields are slam-packed with every 8 to 10 to 15 feet is another bed with a giant fish on it. And like I said, a majority of the people are out there fishing with shiners or wild shiners or something. So it gets a little bit more competitive, but the fishing is absolutely fantastic. I've seen some guides out there and some pros out there whack some giants. So my 5th place is Rodman Reservoir. Now I realize people think that Toho and the Kissimmee chain and the Harris chain are what get most of the action or most of the tournament action. But quite honestly, you can go out there with a guide and do really well. However, the fishing is really tough. And if you're coming down here to go fishing, I'm going to tell you 3 secret places right now that are much better than going to Toho or the Kissimmee chain. Though you do have a possibility of catching a giant out there at the right time of year, the fishing is really tough. There's a lot of pressure on those lakes right now. A lot of pressure. And even though you have Apopka, where you probably have the most over 10-pound bass in the state, because the biologists go out there and shock it and they catch more 10-pounders on Lake Apopka. It's the hardest place to fish, in my opinion. And I know there's some guys that do really well out there because they use the forward-facing sonar and so forth. But as a average angler that's going out there, that's dropping his boat in there, you would hate Apopka. It's that tough. And so is the Kissimmee chain and so are the Harris chains. So I would suggest going away from those. But here's 3 places that are going to blow your mind that are absolutely fantastic. And we're going to go from order from 3 to 1. My 3rd place, up in Lake City, way up, away from Orlando, about 2 hours away, maybe 2.5 hours away. There's a place called Benville Plantation. And it is a private place to fish. It is a rock quarry, I think, that they've dug out lakes. And they've spent years and years and years making the perfect fishery for bass. And by that I mean they have 1 year where they only put forage fish in it, and then another year they only put shad in it, and then the 3rd year they put bass in it. And then as the bass get bigger, they take the big bass and move them over to certain areas. So there's never a lot of big bass in each area. Not to mention, it's really a beautiful place to go see. You can stay the night out there. You can pay for their private chef to make your food and breakfast, and then you can go fish and you will catch tons of fish. No joke. Tons of fish. Now their spawn is right around the end of March and April, and that's really the time to go there. I have no affiliation with them. I've been there one time for 3 days and stayed the night, and my son was probably only 4 years old. He caught more bass over 5 pounds than I've ever caught. And that was over 2 days. Not to mention we got to fish a pond that had never been fished before, and Thomas caught 88 fish in 2 hours. So my first secret, and that's my 3rd best, is Benville Plantation. My 2nd one is really, really going to surprise you. But if you're coming to Orlando and you just want to catch a ton of fish, not a ton of quality fish, you just want to fish quantity, Disney has some of the best bass fishing you'll ever see. Now, it isn't the main area of Disney. It's at one of the campgrounds and one of the attractions main places, but they have guides that will take you fishing for 2 to 4 hours. You will use little shiners and you will catch 200 bass. Now, you're not going to catch 200 4-pounders. You might catch 200 1 to 2 pound bass. You will catch a fish on every cast. It is ridiculous fishing. If you have a child that's going with you and you want to get them introduced into the outdoors, this is the single best place to take a kid fishing. It is that good. Year round. They stock it, they manage it, they do everything proper. And while it's not really well known, it's absolutely stupid fishing. I mean stupid fishing. Not big fish, but you're going to catch a ton of them. And my number 1 place that's a hidden secret in Orlando to go fishing is the Ritz Carlton Grand Lakes. This is not a joke. There's a man named Mark Benson that is in charge of the fishery and the ponds around the golf course. That are as good as any fishing there is anywhere. Now, they don't fish it every day, and they're managed properly. You can go fish for 1 to 2 hours, and it's probably $40 to $60 to $80 an hour, and they take you on a golf cart, and they take you on the golf course, and you fish certain ponds. They're managed proper, they have the right stock in there, they move bass constantly, they bring in bait all the time, and you're not just catching little fish. You have an opportunity to catch 10-pound bass in these lakes. Now, they do see a little bit of pressure, a very little. And if you're a decent angler and you can make the right casts and you can listen to Mark, you will catch studs. It is one of the hidden gems in Orlando for bass fishing. Now, it does cost you. It costs you $60, $40, $60, $80 an hour. And you'll want to fish 2 hours at least. But you will be so impressed by not only Mark and the staff at the Ritz Carlton and how they cater to everything that you want to do. And it's not only them taking you to the places, it's everything you want. It's awesome. So there he is. 5 places and 3 secrets that I thought you should know if you're coming to Orlando. Thanks for hitting that like and subscribe button. Make sure you comment below and tell me what you think. The battery's about to overheat. Take a kid fishing. Get your fish on. I'll talk to you very, very soon. Cheers and thank you.